Okay, everyone, gather around. I want to share with you all the activity for today. Everyone takes a seat at the front of the room by Monica. Alright, I've been meaning to bring this up for a while now. After we finish the photo shoot on Monday, we're going to be reading a piece of literature of our choosing. You and Sayori nearly burst out of their seats in excitement while Natsuki lets out a groan. I mostly just keep a natural expression, but I'm kind of intrigued as to what we'll be reading. Judging by Natsuki's response, we're probably thinking on the same plane, hoping we're not given something we'd have to read for our own literature classes. I have a few early choices we can choose from, but I'm happy to entertain any ideas that you guys may have. Wait, is there a catch to this? Nope, so long as it's literature. Though ultimately, this has to be something everyone is willing to read. Natsuki's lips curl into a mischievous smile while Yuri shuts her eyes, bracing for what Natsuki's about to say next. So, does manga count? Well, considering there's different kinds of manga, I'm willing to allow for its inclusion in this activity. I guess some forms of manga could be considered literature. Some forms of manga? What do you mean? Do you mean like one-shot manga or like longer series or... I'm not really sure what you mean by forms of manga. Do you mean genres of manga? Yes! Natsuki pumps her fist in the air. See, Yuri, even Monica admits manga is literature. Just keep in mind, it has to be something we'd all be willing to read, Natsuki. And I hope you'll be willing to read something of my preferred taste as well. I guess it seems fair to me. Good. So what are you recommending, Monica? I'd like to recommend this story. Monica proudly holds up a copy of a green book by the name of Two of Us. Let me Google real quick if this is an actual book. I mean, I suppose it would be good to have an author, so I could read a bit further. I just got started on that bit so far. It's been a pretty good read. Sayori's eyes widen. Ooh, I've heard good things about that one. What's it about? It's about this girl who realizes that she's living in a fake reality, but she finds someone else who knows this truth too. I get the feeling that this is not a real book, but I'm going to check up on it anyway. Two of Us, a video game. No, I'm looking for a book. There's a pink one. Sometimes holding to pain means letting... By Taylor Torres. Sometimes holding on to pain means letting go of love. Oh, there are various books. There is also one here by Holly Summer. The Two of Us by Andy Jones. Doesn't have good reviews. Oh no. Taylor Torres. Two of Us. Okay, I don't think the book she is saying is a realistic one. So, that's that, I guess. The story's about their struggle to accept their circumstances and their attempt to return to the real world. It's technically a romance novel, but it has some sci-fi and horror elements mixed in. How can a book be both horror and romance? I'm reading something currently that was in the in the paranormal romance section, and it reads currently more like a horror book. I could definitely see it being a mix of horror and definitely weird things, although it's also kind of making me laugh a lot. The Horror by David Sodergren. For my gran, you would not have liked this book at all. I don't know. I read that at work and just started laughing. But I'm pretty sure there are many books that can be like both horror and romance. I don't think that's anything abnormal. This book over here is... I don't think it has anything to do with horror, but I haven't started it yet. So I want to pack it anyway for work. Since I'll finish the horror definitely tomorrow at work. Since there is a delay in my bus, and so I have to wait 1 hour before I can drive back.
Therefore, I'll be reading for that 1 hour. And I'll definitely finish that one because I've only like 50 pages left. 55 pages. I know the exact number. 55 pages. That does make a lot of sense to me. There are a lot of books that can be very unexpected mixtures. I think a lot of paranormal romances have something, at the very least, fantasy, but also horror-like with it.
I haven't gotten that far into it, so I can't answer that. Besides, it'd probably be spoiling. Yeah, I guess it would. I mean, there are quite a few romance novels that mix horror into their story. Like this book, for instance. Yuri takes into her bag and holds up a book with a faded violet cover called Outcast's Dilemma. Now it scrolls her eyes as soon as she reads the title. I wonder if I googled this one, and if that one doesn't exist, then I'm assuming that any other books presented here are that one would definitely. Dilemma of an Outcast is definitely a book. Is it another horror book? The horror in this book is rather tame compared to what I usually like to read. Well, I guess it means Sayori has a pretty high tolerance for horror. Natsuki and Sayori look off uneasily. I guess they don't want something horror with anything horror. I've recently been starting to read into the Guild Codex series. I don't know. I read the entire thing with the demons thus far, but I want to read the other ones as well, and the webcomic. Because I actually really enjoyed it by Annette Marie. Annette Marie. I actually really enjoyed it, and I also really like the illustrations she made for the, like, not in the book, but she puts on social media some illustrations of some scenes, and I thought they were really, really nice. And I've started getting into the, oh, fuck, Spellbound. The books are currently on my other fucking shelf. I'm pretty sure it's Spellbound, though, or the Guild Codex, Spellbound. Okay, I didn't say anything weird. I sometimes have said something spelled different. Something spelled different, so I want to make sure I didn't do that again. I know you two really are really into horror, but trust me, most of this book is romance. So what are the scary parts? And what exactly is it all about? The book is about this girl who is an outcast from her dystopian society because she doesn't meet their standards for perfection. She goes on to meet a man who saves her, and the two fall in love. The book that I saw online recommended to me had something else, but it seemed a bit different. It still had, of course, the outcast part. Comes from a lineage of the Osu or something it read. That are societal outcasts. She goes, yeah. Eventually the man is able to get her accepted back into society, but only if she completes several tasks for the government. So that's where the horror comes in. I'd assume so. I'm only halfway done. That sounds like a fun book to read, Yuri! I'd be happy to get a copy of that. I mean, I'd be willing to read anything you guys recommend. I don't exactly have a library back in my house. Well, if that's the case, Chloe, I think I got something you might enjoy. Natsuki reaches into her bag and holds up a large light blue book called Love's Exit. Oh, are these references to like Yuri with the mod Outcast, and the two of us could be referencing any other mod. There are multiple that I have that was like something with us in the title that seemed to be more Monica related. At least I think I did. Don't quote me on that. Maybe I didn't. And Natsuki's exit music. I wonder if there's like kind of just a bit of a relation to that. I've actually heard of this one before. Actually, I think I have as well. This is actually one of the few manga that got their own movie. Though the manga got much better reviews. Anyways, it's about a boy who rescues his friend from her abusive family. But because his friend's family is pretty powerful, they have to go on the run. While they're out there, they fall in love with each other, but they know their situation ultimately isn't sustainable. I wonder, Outcast is probably, yeah, a reference to Outcast, and this is kind of like also referencing her. The end of the story is really sad, though. I never thought Natsuko would ever be into something that's sad. She said she isn't into horror. She never said anything about sadness. So why is she complaining about Yuri's book having horror? Why did she assume that and not just that it's some fun type of fantasy book? Yuri's favorite genre, she says in Act 1 and Act 2 both times. And Act 4! And now in the side stories, but I'm going to go off of that. It might have been, the script might have been and everything completed before the side stories even existed. So, or well, published at least. But even then, in the main game, what she says, my favorite usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. I don't know where the idea comes from that her favorite genre is horror. She says she's been reading a lot of horror lately, so clearly horror is something she enjoys. But what she says is that her favorites are normally, very frequently, fantasy novels. Most likely high fantasy literature. So I don't know why she'd be upset with Yuri for reading horror versus reading books that are just overly complex with material on the side that you need to read to understand the story. I thought I enjoyed that outside of the final book for like the Guild Codex Demonized series here. The final book had a few things that I'm pretty sure are more explained in the other books of the larger series, but at large I could still view the story as its own story, with just characters having something going on the side. They're having their own lives, of course, on the side. But the story doesn't feel like it's lacking anything. It doesn't feel like you're missing out on anything that isn't important to that particular story. And one of my friends is really into high fantasy literature. I don't remember most titles, but there is one he introduced me to 2 years ago. It's somewhere on his shelf. Which is about... It's one of these books like Yuri seems to read, given what we see in the side stories anyway. With like extra material on the side that you need to read if you want to fully grasp the story that's generally being told. Also, Pit be, I don't know if it was an older series. The books looked old, but I don't know if he just read them a lot. No, I don't remember the title. If I remember to do it, I'll put it up here. If not, then I'm sorry. But books like those are out there everywhere. And you can find them everywhere. Well, I'm not sure if you can find them everywhere, but you can find them if you're really into that type of thing. Which Yuri seems to be into. I can't blame the mod for not knowing that. That was in the side stories more, that she's into that type of high fantasy literature. But, it annoys me that I can't remember the title. Whatever! Those books exist. Those seem to be what she likes. In the main game you can't really notice it, but you do notice that she really is into fantasy. Probably very complex fantasy. And therefore, that's something that Natsuki also didn't enjoy too much. So it's a romantic tragedy manga? Yeah, pretty much. I read it a few years ago. I picked it up because it looked like a cute story on the outside. Then as I was reading it, I realized how wrong I was. It's a good story all around, though I probably wouldn't have read it if I knew it was a tragedy story. Well, I'll admit, Natsuko, you have me intrigued. Well, really? I never thought I'd see the day you'd actually be picking up manga. I just hope we see the day where you pick up a horror novel. Hey, I said I'd be willing to try. It just needs to be the right story. What do you mean by that? Sensing the incoming tension, Sayori steps in. You know, I think I may have a story that we could all enjoy. She holds up a pink-covered book called Rainshine. I'm not familiar with this one. What's it about? It's about this girl who develops a split personality, and the story is about her struggling trying to overcome it. During
ending is really bittersweet.
Sounds like it could be interesting. Have you read it before?
Yeah, I've read it a couple times before, but I haven't read it recently. It's actually one of my favorite stories.
I didn't even know Sayori had a favorite story. Much less I didn't know that she'd read something like that. But I guess with the way she described it, I think I might know the reason she likes reading that book. In fact, I think she might be seeing a general trend in... I think I might be seeing a general trend in each of those books, the books described by everyone. They all have a female protagonist, and the story revolves around love in some way. I guess that's what I get for being the only guy here. Alright, so we have our options. What would I bring to the literature club? Well, given that I'm currently trying to improve my romance reading, that's why I have so many paranormal romances. I guess I would introduce a paranormal romance right now. After that, I have the King in Yellow planned. And after that, I have to see. I have to see what I still have. Need to go on a book shopping spree again soon. Alright, so we have our options. I'll look into seeing if I can get copies for all of us tomorrow. And if I'm able to, then we can decide on what we'll read first. Is that okay with everyone? Everyone nods in agreement. Alright then. I still have some time before the club ends, so you guys are free to hang around. Chloe, I believe you have everyone's poems. I do. Awesome. Well, let us know if you need anything else. I'll be sure to. If you need anything else. She was kind of looking a bit more down there. I just want pathetic. Or somewhat sympathetic, whatever. Everyone gets up and goes back to their respective areas. I notice Sayori's starting to pack up her things, so assuming she'll want to leave soon, I start walking over to join her. However, I feel a tap on my shoulder as I'm walking over. I turn around to see Natsuki standing right behind me. My heart immediately starts pounding against my chest as anxiety builds up inside of me. Oh, hey Natsuki, what's up? I try to steady my voice as best as I can. Fortunately, Natsuki doesn't really seem to notice, as she seems rather unnerved as well. She lets out a sigh before looking up at me. No, she has her eyes closed! Look, I'm sorry for how I acted earlier. I didn't mean to brush you off without giving a chance to explain what happened. I've just been having a bad day today. It's fine, Natsuki, really. I'm just glad we can put that behind us. Natsuki smiles as we stand in the middle of the room awkwardly. I just want to ask why she kind of shrunk, if there was like an animation missing of her sinking. But I think it's the sprite, because I think... Well, the sprite, first and foremost, is definitely one that doesn't exist in the main game, but like... in the original games. But also the sprite in general has a bit of a weird outline. I'm not saying that as a critique, it's just something I noticed because I noticed really heavily that she like kind of shrunk, and I was like, why did that happen? So what's got you down? I think I might have lost one of my manga. It was a special edition copy and it was super expensive. Ah, jeez. Do you know where you might have left it? I think I have an idea where it might be. I might have left it in my last class. Well, I hope you find it. You're not sticking around? Well, I think Sarah's about to leave, so I'm gonna head home with her. Why do you always do that? Do what? What do you mean? It's like you're always following her around like a lost puppy. I don't know how she constantly puts up with it. Why is it almost everything you do has to revolve around Sayori? Natsuki, that's not really true. I think I would love to do a part where I spend time with everyone a little bit but still remain on the Sayori route. I'll see if I can do that. That'll be my one where I kind of switch around a little bit. Maybe. And check out a few of the other routes while still trying to remain the Sayori route. Because I think it could be nice to spend time with everyone a little bit. Forget it! I have manga to find! Because, like, it's true, you can't just, like... You're not really getting close to anyone. You're spending time with Sayori and Sayori only. Like, with Monica for lunch, it made sense because it was like... He really probably did need to think a little bit. But generally speaking, he's kind of just not spending time with anyone ever since the first time we had this option. Without another word spoken, Natsuki angrily walks out of the club room. though it doesn't appear that anybody's noticed the incident that just took place between us. A louder sigh as I walk over to Sayori, who seems to have just finished packing her things.
Hey, Chloe! Ready to go?
I weakly smile at Sayori. Yeah, sure. Let's get going. She picks up on my agitated tone.
You okay, Chloe? You look upset.
It's nothing. Let's just head home.
Okay, then.
So I wave goodbye to Monica and Yuri as we head out to start our commute home. The walk home with Sayori considerably lifted my spirit from my run-in with Natsuki. Sayori still asked me a few questions about why I was in such a grouchy mood earlier, but I just muttered out some answer and she seemed to have mostly bought it. I'm still gushing a little over the little ice cream incident we had earlier. Even though Sayori tried to play it off like it was nothing, I had a hard time believing that she wasn't trying to have a little fun with me. Needless to say, when I called her out on it, she called me a meanie, and we just left it at that. Seeing Sayori like this gives me hope that she can overcome her depression. It's not like it's taken her over fully. She's still capable of being herself. They reminded me of that. In some ways, she's still the same kid next door I grew up with.
Chloe, we're here!
Huh? As Sayori derails my train of thought, I look over to see that we've already arrived at our houses.
Jeez, Chloe! You've been spacing out more than I have lately!
Yeah, I've just had a lot to think about, that's all.
Is everything okay, Chloe?
He told you about the dreams earlier. Chloe made the active decision to tell you about the dreams. Yeah, I'm fine, Sayori.
I mean, you've looked pretty stressed this whole day. Is it because of last night?
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure that has something to do with it, but it's not everything.
Well, what's bugging you?
Sayori, it's not something you can really solve. It's not something I can really talk with you or anyone else, really. But you talk to Monica about it. I feel like it's okay to talk about her. It's just, I need to solve this one on my own, okay?
Alright. Well, I hope whatever it is, Chloe, I hope it all works out for you. I'm here if you need me.
I know, and that's all I need to know right now. It's a nice and silent on the sidewalk, the silence only being disturbed by the occasional gusts of wind.
Well, I'll talk to you later, Chloe.
Alright. Sorry, that noise scared me. Sarah runs up to me and gives me a tight hug.
Just sleep well tonight, okay?
I'll try my best. So and I release each other as we both madly blush at each other.
Love you, Chloe.
I love you too, Sayori. With one more smile between us, we have waved a goodbye to each other as we walk back into our houses. After changing out of my school uniform and into my regular clothes, I immediately collapse back onto my bed. What the hell am I going to do? Quixotically, I know what it is. I have no idea how to pronounce it. Quixotically. Ask myself. I know I love Sayori. I do. I've enjoyed every moment I've been around her. There's really no reason to change that. But I don't feel like I can let Natsuki down. Should I give her a chance at least? I mean, in hindsight, I did kind of say yes to Sayori right on the spot. Only spent time alone with Natsuki once. But I know I have an obligation to stick to Sayori. She needs me. But I guess it's worth asking myself, do I really need her? It's not about needing someone. It's about just loving someone. You shouldn't really completely and utterly need someone. I stare up at my ceiling as I repeat the question in my head over and over. I mean, where would I be without her? If it wasn't for inviting me to the club, she wouldn't be my girlfriend right now. I wouldn't have met any of the others. I'd probably be in this room, just watching whatever anime was on and playing online. It's a simple life for sure, but it's kind of lonely in retrospect. I'd probably be feeling sorry for myself that I didn't let Sayori take me to the club. I owe her so much, even if she won't admit it. And she does light up my world in a way that no anime or game could ever do. She does make me feel genuinely happy, and I do feel accepted around her. Not to mention we've put up with each other for all these years. My life would probably be pretty dull and boring without her. I mean, even the little fight we had over the ice cream was kind of fun. Even though I did indulge her and let her take my ice cream from me. It's good to see that despite whatever she has to endure from her rain clouds, she still knows how to be herself. But if I wasn't in her life, had I not grown so close to her, if she continued to have those rain clouds, where would she be? She still has those rain clouds. I almost feel the answer. Not that I think Sayori would ever do anything I saw in my dreams, a sinking feeling that it may have crossed her mind. I mean, she's told me, 3 times now that I'm the reason she's even alive? What does it even mean? I know her well enough to know it's not her way of flirting. It's not like she's ever given me any huge warning signs aside from this. These are still pretty big signs. Maybe I should ask her about it sometime. She'll probably say no, but even if she tells me that, I could use the peace of mind. Speaking of peace of mind, I know that's what Natsuki wants, and I'm just going to have to lay it out for her. I guess at one point I did have similar feelings for Natsuki, especially with how last Sunday went. And I still find part of me wondering if what could have been still could be, especially considering how much fun I had with her preparing for and at the festival. Even though she was competing with Sayori for my attention. But can I really do that to Sayori? I roll over to face my bookshelves. On one side of the shelves I spot a picture of me and Sayori at the carnival. Man, that must have been at least 10 years ago. Do I really have it in me to tell her, that same girl, who's now my girlfriend, that I want to dump her for another relationship that's not even guaranteed to work out? And risk possibly dividing the club? I get out of bed and walk over to pick up the picture frame. Upon a closer look, I see Sayori clutching a familiar giant-sized cow. I've almost forgot that's what I wanted for her. I always did tell Sayori that she deserved the best. Suddenly I hear my phone ringing. I put the picture frame down and run over to my phone to see who's calling. To my surprise, it's Sayori! Why's she calling me? We saw each other like 10 minutes ago. I answer the phone. Sayori? Hey! Chloe! Why are you calling? Didn't we see each other like 10 minutes ago? Yeah, but... But what? I'm hungry. Well, make yourself some food. I don't have anything. Then get takeout. Chloe, you know I don't have a car! I facepalm myself. This girl. Sayori, you don't need a car for takeout. You can just order it over the phone or online or however it's done now. I don't know any of the restaurant numbers. Well, can't you look it up online? Too lazy. I laugh a little to myself. I see what she's trying to do. So I have a little fun with her. Well, I guess you're just gonna have to starve, Sayori. Hey, you a big meanie! Don't you have anything to help your poor starving girlfriend? Actually, let me check. I walk downstairs to my kitchen. As soon as I get into the kitchen, I open the fridge. Wow, looks like Sir and I are in the same predicament. How did I not see it this morning? See anything? Looks like I'm out of food too. Wow. You did break into my house and steal all my food, did you? What? No! Chloe, don't be silly! I'm just saying. If it happened, you'd be the prime suspect. Here's her giggling through the other end of the line. Well, I do have a ski mask. You're not robbing my house. Why'd you have a ski mask? You don't remember the 6th grade field trip to that mountain? No, I think we also had some type of ski trip. But I didn't partake because I was sick. Oh wait, I think you were sick at that time! Oh no, they're listening to me now! Well, that probably explains why I wouldn't remember it. Yeah, it would. Well, if you're not too busy, we could get some food together if you want. The idea of getting food with Sayori is tempting, but I don't know if I really want to leave the house considering I got some heavy-duty thinking to do. Not to mention I could use the early start on my homework. Should I get food with Sayori? You know the answer, baby! Yeah, sure, I wouldn't mind going out. I mean, it's not like we had a proper first date yet. I'm not taking you away from anything, am I? No, and to be honest, I probably could use the fresh air. Okay. Well, we're not going anywhere super fancy, but I did have one place in mind. It's in the city. Sounds fancy to me. It's not really anything super. It's more of a fast food place. Hey, I don't mind. Food is food. It's not like I have a preference right now. Yeah, me neither. I'll meet you outside in a few minutes, okay?
Alright, see you in a bit.
Bye. Sayori disconnects the call. I'm fairly surprised that Sayori wants to go out. I haven't gone out to eat proper in years, although I'm more than happy to take her up on her offer. All this thinking does work up quite an appetite. Hopefully she doesn't try to take my food again. I grab my keys and wallet and walk out of my house to meet Sayori. I walk out of my house and wait by the fence that separates our two houses. I'm interested to see if Yuri and Natsuki and also Monica have some unique OSTs, because these are like special OSTs and some of it are Ohio Sayori remixes a little bit. Not this one, I think. Nope. But they have their own little music sequences. Not long after I arrive, I see Sayori exiting her back door and walking up to the fence. I unlock the gate and hold it open as she walks through. Hey, Sayori!
Hey, Chloe!
I gleefully take Sayori into my arms. Feeling her embrace once again seems to melt away all the stress and worrying I experienced just a few minutes ago. I only hold her tight as I continue to release my stress. Fortunately, Sayori doesn't seem to mind, as she only blushes brighter as my embrace tightens. I don't know why, but every time I find myself in Sayori's arms, it just feels like I'm in heaven. She's always given great hugs, sure, but lately it's been different. Almost a magical sort of feeling that I really can't put into words. Well, I can't complain. I'll just enjoy this magical moment we're sharing for as long as possible. However, the magical moment is quickly ruined as Sayori's stomach emits a loud enough rumble that I'm sure everybody in the neighborhood heard. Sir breaks the embrace and steps back in embarrassment. Sorry, Chloe. I guess I'm kind of hungry. That's why you wanted to meet. I'm not sure if kind of hungry is really an accurate way to describe your appetite, Sayori. I don't think anything can, to be quite honest. Ha! I guess that's true. I just hope wherever we're going has enough food for you to conquer your hunger.
Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's get going.
After you. I lock the gate behind us as Sayori and I begin our journey to the restaurant. As we begin to walk to the restaurant, I immediately begin to realize where Sayori is taking us. I turn to Sayori, eyeing her suspiciously. You're taking us to Gumaya's, aren't you?
Yep. How did you know?
I remember these old side streets. Our parents always took this way to get there. I think my dad always called it the shortcut.
That's because they want to avoid all the traffic on Rockefeller Street.
I don't blame them. Still, I'm a little surprised you remember the way.
How could I forget, Chloe? I always loved to walk to Gumaya's.
Though you always hated the walk back. I think you liked that part too much for your own good, Sayori.
The ice cream was so good, though. Not to mention the jungle gym they kept outside.
That was pretty fun, now that I think about it. Sucks we can't go on it now, though.
Maybe you can. Have you tried?
Why not? What's stopping us? Sayori, I twirled holding a chuckle. I still sometimes forget Sayori is still a child at heart. That's what I really like about her. We're way too old to go on it.
You're never too old for fun!
I'm pretty sure they set the age limit at 12.
Oh, they set an age limit? They're setting an age limit on fun? To be frank, I'm not a fan of those things, but people are allowed to have their fun, even above the age of 12.
I doubt the staff would let us anywhere near it.
12.
No, the youngest I've recently been assumed to be was 14.
Ah, shit. Well, that's no fair.
Sayori, we're not kids anymore.
That doesn't mean you can't have fun.
I don't even think we'd fit between the bars, to be honest with you.
I don't know if I'm just so small, but I fit between those bars perfectly fine. Not me. I'm pretty sure I can fit. Yeah, right.
We get stuck between the bars and then we'd have to call someone to cut you out. Remember the swing incident back in the 4th grade?
Hey, it wasn't my fault. That swing set was just really old.
I don't think its age was the problem, Sayori. It was meant for toddlers. Okay, yeah, there is a bit of a difference between that size, though. Matter of fact, I was surprised you still managed to squeeze in.
It was the best 100 yen I've ever made in elementary school.
Even though I got a week's worth of detention because I somehow got blamed for putting you up to it.
It wasn't even originally my idea.
It was a small price to pay, Chloe.
Hey! Sarah and I shared brief laughter together. I always did find her laugh to be really cute. Even as kids, I always enjoyed hearing it. And hearing it now, I almost feel like I'm back on the elementary school playground with Sayori.
But you would have never been able to pull it off.
Huh? What do you mean?
Let's just face it, Chloe. You would have gotten stuck worse than me, or you wouldn't have been able to fit in that swing set at all.
I could have if I tried hard enough. It might have been broken right away, but you probably could have. Where there's a will, there's a way. I just didn't feel like it that day.
Chloe, your belly was too big back then to fit. And it's still kinda big now.
Sarah jokingly rubs my belly for emphasis. Hey, cut it out! I playfully swat her hand away from me as she continues laughing. I was never like that.
It's okay, Chloe. I still love you.
Struggle to suppress my blushing. Even when she's teasing me, she still finds a way to make me blush. Well, I'm not going to let Sarah continue to one-up me. Let's see if she'll take a bet. I bet you I could fit between those bars on the jungle gym.
That sounds like a challenge, Chloe.
Sayori dearestly winks at me. Maybe it is one. Alright.
Alright, you're on!
What did I just get myself into? Well, I'm sure it won't be that bad, assuming we can even get in. But there's a chance Sayori will probably forget by the time we get food. Not that I'm worried about losing some stupid little bet. Leave it to Sayori to bring out the kid in me. It's not... if adults are allowed to have fun! Or like teenagers! You still are children! After... Would I still? I would... I want to ask if I could still be considered a child. Definitely not legally. But in some people's eyes, I would probably still be considered a kid. Even if it's only because I'm tiny. After a few more minutes of walking, we turned the corner to find our old childhood favorite restaurant still standing in all its glory. So and I almost rushed into the building to see if everything was still the same as we remembered it. Despite a few apparent changes, everything was still the same. Sayori seems to be completely lost in thought as she stares around at everything. I guess she hasn't stopped by in a long time either. This place really did mean a lot to us both. I snapped myself out of my train of thought and nudged Sayori to do the same. Well, this looks the same. It still looks the same for the most part, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Still, the food tastes the same.
Well, there's only one way to find out, right? Let's get some food.
Now you're speaking my language.
It comes in handy to know you so well.
Yeah.
Looks like I got my revenge for earlier. Though I decide to be merciful and end Sayori's embarrassment by quickly finding a table for us to sit at. So now I immediately crack open the menus to see what's available. I'm able to quickly pick out what I want while Sayori furrows her brow as she continues to pore over the menu. If I had all the money in the world, there is no question Sayori would find a way to convince me to get her one of everything. After a few minutes I decide to ask her what she's thinking. See anything you like?
There's so many choices, Chloe.
Is there anything in particular you're leaning towards? I'm thinking about just getting a burger. So close your eyes for a moment. What are you doing?
I'm trying to see which way my tummy's leaning towards. I can't decide if I want pizza, a burger or pizza.
Well, hey, it's up to you, Sayori. My treat. Sayori takes the next few minutes to think it over. It gets to the point where I'm just considering ordering first and then going back for Sayori's order. So, what does your tummy say? Sayori takes one more look at the menu.
I want pizza!
What do you want on it?
Oh!
Sayori takes yet another look at the menu. I mean, usually you just get pepperoni.
Yeah, but I'm thinking about trying something new this time. I'm thinking about trying some... Oh my god! Trying out some anchors!
No! Anchovies! Anchovies? Anchovies. Anchovies, huh? I don't know how you pronounce it!
Who are you and what have you done with Sayori? Sayori lets out a small laugh. There's nothing wrong with trying something new, Chloe. Besides, remember that their pizza are super good here. Yeah, I really did enjoy their pizzas. Matter of fact, this place was where I always went to get pizza as a kid. They were always freshly baked too, not the cheap preheated store-bought ones I've seen at a lot of restaurants around here. You know what? I think I'll try one too. There you go, Chloe. That's the spirit. It seems like you just have a special way over me, you know? First the literature club, then last Sunday, and even now. Guess you're just still that good at talking me into things. Sorry, I was struggling, so I read it very slowly. Well, I try my best. You succeed. You always do. Fletcher's smile, so continues to blush brightly. I'll go put in our orders. I get up and walk to the register to put in our order for a large anchovy pizza. Anchovy?
Anchovy!
I just hope my stomach doesn't make me regret this later. At about a 10-minute wait, the waiter comes by and delivers our pizza and water. So now you're shocked at the size of it. I don't think I could finish it, but knowing Sayori and her appetite, anything's possible. I'll admit, it smells nice. So quietly takes a slice and stares at it. I follow suit. There's literally a little fish embedded in the pizza. Not that I've ever had a problem with fish. This just seems kind of weird to me. This is so cute! It's like it's swimming in the pizza. Well, now it's going to swim in our stomachs. Cheers! What do you mean? What are we cheering for? No, it's not like that. It's like another word for toast. They have a toast here? I don't know.
But it doesn't have anything to do with food, silly.
It's like we're celebrating. Well, what are we celebrating then? I take a moment to think this over. Well, how much progress we've made in our relationship is definitely worth celebrating. How about this great loving relationship we found ourselves in? I mean, after everything we've been through, look at us now. So blushes brighter than pizza sauce.
What a comparison, but it makes sense.
That's very sweet of you, Chloe. I agree. Cheers! Sarah and I playfully clink our pizzas and take a bite into the
anchovy
flavored crust. Hey, this is not bad. Maybe I should just Google something for it to pronounce to me. This keeps happening. Hey, this is not bad. So how's yours? Sayori, who's joyfully showing down her slice of pizza, manages an answer with a mouthful of pizza. So good. I try to look away from Sayori's mouth as I take my next bite. I'm so surprised with how well the taste of the anchovies mixed with the crust and sauce.
I'm Googling it! Fuck my life! I'm Googling it!
Yeah, let's just use...
Ah, fuck. Anchovies. Okay, got it. I've only read that word, like, in 2 books before. I'm sorry!
Who knew that anchovies mixed in with bread and sauce could be so tasty? I'm definitely going to have to get this again at some point. I came to pick away the pizza, but Sayori seems to gobble down slices left and right. And as a kid, Sayori always managed to consume the craziest amount of food in the shortest amount of time. Hopefully there'll be some pizza left for me to eat before I decide to tap out. After having roughly 5 slices, I eventually decide to call it quits on the pizza. I simply nurse my water as I watch Sayori continue to shred through slice after slice as if it were nothing. Eventually, Sayori finishes the last slice of pizza, leaning back in her chair with satisfaction.
I learned how to say anchovies, and they don't say it any more time.
So... I take it you enjoyed it?
Yeah, it was really good. Seems like you enjoyed the pizza too.
Well, hey, we both know Gomaya's has the best pizza in town.
And the best ice cream.
I still remember the bet I made with Sayori yesterday when we were playing Mario Kart. So this is why she wanted us to come here. Well, a bet is a bet, and it looks like it's time for me to pay up. Well, I suppose I do owe you from yesterday's bet. You beat me fair and square.
Oh, Chloe. I'm glad you remembered.
Well, if I forgot, you would have reminded me anyway. That's why you wanted to come here for dinner, right?
Well, maybe that was part of the reason.
I chuckled to myself. Alright, let's go see what they have. Sayori warmly smiles as we get up to check out the ice cream selection. I declined to get anything, but Sayori opted to get 2 scoops of some sort of blueberry banana. I don't know banana. Blueberry banana. I have to check up on that lately. I know banana. I don't know banana. Combination I've never even heard of. Blueberry banana. Is this some type of... Is it intended to be like blueberry banana and it's just some... When you talk about it, it's blueberry banana? As per the bet, I ended up paying the cost for the ice cream and politely covered the cost for our meal as well. Naturally, Sarah was pretty happy. She quickly gobbled down her ice cream and we began the walk home.